And so, my father wanted me to be named Yoweri. My mother was very foresighted. She put up a challenge. She said, but you see, this name Yoweri might give our child trouble. I know. In time to come. I know. So she said no. And they had a fight about it. I was about, a week or so old, and so they were battling about naming me. My father put down his foot. My mother put down her foot. Eventually, they came to a middle ground of sorts. And so my mother said, okay, what I can accept, what is palatable, is that we name this our son, give him the English version of the name Yoweri. And so that's how I get to be Joe. And so I grew up knowing I was named after a hero. But you see, as sanity came over me, and as this hero after whom I was named became a shadow of his former past, I said now, I must do everything I can to redeem my name. And little wonder, I am now fighting together with the rest of you to unseat this man after whom I was named. So for me, it is personal. I've got to redeem my name. And I hope that we wake up to reality, to realize that our children and our grandchildren might someday ask us, Papa, Mama, what were you up to when this was the devil in our country? Somebody once said that Africa has three major challenges, three major problems. The first one is leadership, the second is leadership, the third is leadership. I thought about it, and I eventually agreed with this person. Because I tell you what, as John Maxwell once said, everything rises and falls on leadership. That's the reality. And I think it's the same man who once said that it was a Ghanaian professor, Professor Steve Ade, who said leadership is cause, everything else is effect. And what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is that everything, good or bad, revolves around leadership, whether you like it or you don't like it. It's a reality. Everything has a connection to leadership. You people are here in the country whose systems work. It took leadership for those systems to be built. Somebody was telling us about George Washington, who said, I will not do anything more than 2 years. And so the president was said, it took leadership. You know, even Museveni, whom we are fighting today, he probably diagnosed our problem in 1986, shortly after he took power. He said the problem of Africa, and Uganda in particular, are leaders who overstay in power. He was right, damn right. And then he became that problem. Because you see, good as he did set out, Mr. Museveni's preoccupation now is survival. And that's why some of us are saying we must do everything within our powers to see this man out. Because you see, he cannot change, he cannot get any better. His preoccupation now is how to keep in power. That means everything else will suffer. Everything will suffer. Most of the money will be channeled to how do I keep myself in power. There will be little that will go to healthcare, education, and all these other areas and sectors. How do I keep myself in power? That's his preoccupation. They will not buy ambulances, and they will buy military tankers to come after us. Because preoccupation is to retain power. And so, we talk about this thing called struggle. Sometimes we say it in passing, but I hope we can wake up to realizing what it really means and what we are up against. I am going to briefly share the status back home and what it is that we must do. But even more important, somebody did ask a lady yesterday, what will our first 100 days look like? Because that's important. What do we do different? Because we must be a credible alternative. And it's important that we think about that. So there are people who have accused us of being preoccupied with the removal of Mr. Museveni. And yes, we must be. Because that's the major problem that we have. Nothing else will work. We can speak all the English we can. I sit in Parliament. And oh boy, we speak some English. We can have all these policy formulations in place and so on. And until we deal with that problem, none of this gets to happen. And so I'm never shy to say, I wake up thinking, planning, how do we remove this man? That's important. Because of some of the issues I'm going to talk about. And what we are going to do different when we take power. Not if we take power, when we take power. It's a matter of time. Number one, power must return to the people. We are people power. It was deliberate how we coined this. People power. Our power. We the people. Our power. It was deliberate. Because you see, Mr. Museveni emasculated all of us Ugandans. He took the power away from us. People will go and cast their ballot and decide this is the person who wants to rule us. And he will say no. Why? Because he took that power away from us. That power must return to the people. We were in Kayunga. A couple of by-elections, and I know they will talk a bit about 2021. But you see, we'll go to by-elections and they will read and they will abduct our people and so on. But in Kayunga, he said, you know what? I don't want to stress myself, abducting their agents and so on. Let their person win, we shall declare what we want. And look, we have all the DR forms that show that our candidate won, the LC5 chairperson, Harry Nagwebe. But they said, we shall do what we want. Do what you want. Because he took the power away from us as a people. That power, that's our major aim. That power must return to the people. That those people get to decide who leads them, how they lead them. And that means, God forbid, if we become a mess when we are in charge, those same people have the power to boot us out. That's the place we must get to. And so we've got to empower the people, that they get to determine. I want to talk a little about corruption. We talk about this thing called corruption, and it has become so normalized. Yes. I chair a committee in Parliament called Kosase. When I was a journalist for 14 years, 2006, with the Moses and others, I saw behind me somewhere. And so we used to, yes, of course, do stories about corruption and so on. And it's different when you are on the sideline. But now, I stare this thing in the face every single day, and I just cannot believe it. Almost every institution in our country is riddled with corruption. I'll just give you some pointers. We investigated Uganda Airlines. A number of you saw how that probe went. People wanted to finish me because I was unraveling the road there was. I said, I'm doing my job and I'll keep doing it. we handled Uganda Railways Corporation. And these guys bought locomotives. One, they bought older locomotives than what they should have, because the guys that did the surveying said, let's buy 6-year-old locomotives at 36 billion. These people went and bought 8-year-old locomotives at 48 billion using direct procurement, and the things could not work when they got them back home. And so we dug all these things up, and there are people in government who said, listen, when you hear his anti-Muslim, he just wants to make the government look bad. I said, do your own probe. Here's our report, and eventually we established there was a problem. The MD was fired, the board was fired, and I said, that's not enough. I want those guys locked up. It's not enough for you to fire them and they strike me. Lock them up, let them pay. And fire them again. As somebody said. We recently went into KCCA. So, one of course, there's many things. There's sort of property belonging to the entity and so on. There's land in Chisenyi. You guys know Chisenyi? Yes. So they were planning to buy 10 acres of land in Chisenyi for vendors, put them there. And guess how much they wanted to buy this land? Each acre was to be bought, each acre, at $10 million. Chisenyi. You know Chisenyi? And by the way, most of this land, because I went to the land, I said, I want to understand this land, what is it made of? So they wanted to buy 10 acres at $100 million. So I said, let's go and see this land. I want to know what is underneath it. There's some gold, I don't know what. Weight, and most of it is even weight, land and so on. But you see, it's because somebody was trying to track this as a deal, and so they are agreeing with the vendor of the land. This person has a share off of it. They don't care that this is money that could do many other things. No, it's a deal for them. And so we stepped in their deal. And I keep having trouble back home. My wife, when I leave the house, she says, you're born again. May God bring you back safe. Because it is tough. And you think about these things and sure. We investigated Uganda Land Commission, and what these people did, they go to a village and they acquire title, and they say, now we'll have title for this square mile or that kind of thing. So all of you will pay you 1 week to vacate. And so it's a cartel. So then some people within government say, no, don't chase the people off the land. Let's pay you for the title. So that now those people retain their land. But then something just didn't make sense. And so we began to scratch a little more. And they had acquired letters of administration. And the letters of administration were forged. So I saw a signature of the judge. I called the judge. I said, Your Lordship, I have this document. I just want to be sure you're the one who signed this. He said, send it to me. I sent it to him. He said, 2 problems. Number 1, that was my signature. Number 2, they signed that document after I had long retired from the judiciary. So I said, now I have these views. Of course, with the back and forth, we got that title cancelled. But I've been saying, now, that title was cancelled. Those guys were paid billions of shillings for that land. I said, now, we have successfully shown that this was acquired fraudulently. We want those guys to pay back that money and to get locked up. And that's the back and forth we're having. Yeah. I can go on and on. Some of you probably followed UNBS recently, where we had evidence that an executive director was bribing board members to retain his job. So I acquired screenshots, and to use my journalistic background, and somehow we trapped him and he said the truth. That's just an example. I'm sharing this because that's the space in which I am. I'm not telling you so that you say I'm doing a very good job. It is Not even a drop in the ocean, yeah? In all of this, I need to be humble to accept that. But that's just to show you the road there is in our country. And why you and I must fight. Uganda has got plenty of money. Somebody did mention here, we don't need aid. I read a book, a little book called Dead Aid by Dambisa Moyo. You should read that book. It goes to show how much aid has been pumped into Africa for so many years. And Africa remains poor, despite the aid that is pumped there. As a country, Uganda, we are a heavily indebted, poor country. Forget this nonsense they tell you that our GDP is now, our economy is sweet and all of that. Rubbish. We are a heavily indebted, poor country. Do you know this? You have relatives back home. But why? Because what we should be able to use to salvage our country is stolen. And you see, corruption is the glue that keeps our government intact. And Museveni knows that. That's why he told the IGC, leave my thieves alone. After all, they're investing in Uganda, building shopping malls. Imagine that nonsense. Imagine. So whose shopping malls do they belong to? But saying, no, they are investing back in Uganda. Is that a national asset? And so the IGC will not go after them. When I was saying in the media, under National Media Group and TV, we did an interview with the then IGC. Justice Muyagonja. And we said, but see, you always go after the small fish. Why not the big ones? And she said, and that said I eventually made rounds and got her in trouble. She said, you see, whenever I go after the big fish, I find them hiding behind the president. And so she cannot touch them. So this whole drama you hear, zero tolerance to corruption, there's a time they walked, they did a march in town. From Polo to I don't know where to fight corruption. I said, you guys, the only benefit that is in that walk is that you cut a bit of wheat. There's no benefit beyond that. And so you and I must fight. Corrupt people must be locked up. That's our intention. And by the way, I don't care that you have been part of the struggle with us. Tomorrow we are in charge, you're a thief, we lock you up. Because otherwise, then we shall not be different from him. Because the people he fought with in the bush, they are thieves, and he retains them. Jim Owezi, Otafire, that one stole timber, gold, Congo. Numerous examples. But because they were his comrades in the struggle, he cannot let them go. We must be different. And so I hope you're not part of this struggle because you're hoping to benefit at some point. Institutions in our country, what emasculated a long time ago, we have an institution called Museveni. And that's why institutions just struggle to function. Look at the judiciary. And I have immense respect for judges and so on. I'm a lawyer. But you see, every institution is under capture. You saw what happened to Justice Kisaji, who was saying, I have a different opinion. And she's entitled to that. But she's been treated so terribly because of that, her opinion. As far as our petition is concerned. You see, when I was in the media, I interviewed Kale Kayihura, and I saw a guy who had this bravado, a guy who thought he had it together. He thought he was in charge. Kayihura fell out with the powers that be, and he was locked up. Kayihura, his lawyer, Eddie Karuhanga, he made a plea to the head of the General Court Martial, and he this one another. Because you know, even when you have a president in charge who will do all manner of crazy things, the institutions are intact and will not allow that leader to mess up the country. I don't have to give examples, but I'm sure you think about something. That's what must happen back home. And you have institutions that function. And as a leader, totalitarian as you might be, you cannot find your way around the institutions. You must fix that. You must return power to institutions. That's when the country gets to function. Many times we have a chat with our leader, and it's good he mentions it, and we remind him. He keeps telling us, guys, I don't want to become another Muslim. And I tell him, we are not going to allow you to become another Muslim. And it's good it first comes from him. Because otherwise then we shall be washing and then we hand in the dirt. We must not do that. I want to talk a bit about some of our sectors in our country and the challenge there is. Healthcare. In 2016, it was 2011, when campaigning, Mr. Museveni promised an ambulance system. Remember? To date, that has not happened and it will not happen until tomorrow. The ambulances in the country are bought by us political leaders. And remember during COVID, they said, please help us to give ambulances. I said, now, what kind of government is this? 2016, he promised sanitary towels, pads for guys. You remember? Until tomorrow, he will not come. He will not. Because that's not his preoccupation. His preoccupation is, how do I retain power? Sometimes you try and do a few things. The other day, I was taking pads to reusable sanitary towels. I partnered with some friends, and so we're taking them to one of the ghettos that I have in my constituency. Many young people, when they reach that time of the month, this girl drop out of school because she cannot mingle with the others. So she'll be away for a week or so. It is true. Yeah. Others are not even lucky to eventually go back after that. This is not a sickness, it is nature. But that a girl will drop out of school simply because she cannot have sanitary towel. And so when we took them there, police comes and says, the IGP has not allowed to give out pads. I said, look at these idiots. Forgive my French. And I got so angry that day. I said, and that's where we are. Mothers give birth on the floor. This is the reality. I hope you don't think we make these things up. You know, you have relatives back home. They probably tell you. On the floor. And somehow we imagine we are securing their future. A few weeks ago, water was cut off in Nakuru Hospital, they were going from Lapo Hospital and others. Why? Because they owed money. And so water was cut off. Can you imagine water being cut off the hospital for 1 week? Just think about it. I interacted with the doctors. They said now we have closed the theater because we shall be giving people more disease than we are trying to deal with. Because how does a hospital function without water? How does a hospital function without electricity? Those should be priorities. They are not. And so we must think about what is of importance. You know, this regime, well, this. I'm trying to imagine we are in Uganda, yeah? It ridicules Amin, Obote, and so on. But there's some good things when you think about it. Yeah, there's lots of evil they did. I lost relatives, some relatives to the Amin regime. But see, Amin, all his known 9 children, underline the word known, were born at Mulago Hospital. When Mr. Museveni's daughter was going to give birth, he put her on the presidential jet, flew her to Germany, not on his money, on taxpayer money. The people that did that story then, one of them now, by the way, works with some 17 and outside, I think, deputy PPS or something. And he said he will pay that money back in the coffers until tomorrow. Obote was slaughtered at Lugogo. The mouth was an assassination attempt on him. He was taken to Mulago, treated until he got fined. Does that happen today? No. Why? Because healthcare is not a priority. You guys think, if I can get it elsewhere, why should I bother dealing with the situation back at home? But Obote, I mean, with all their madness, their evil, as portrayed by this regime especially, there's some things they did. Some of the infrastructure we still celebrate in the country was built by these guys. That's the reality. Today, they are excited they are building roads. You see these roads, by the way. One of the other issues we looked into, the cost of a road per kilometer, some of these roads are 15 billion per kilometer. What kind of road is that? And then, 3 months later, that road will have potholes. And this is money, by the way, that was borrowed from China or wherever else. You and I and our children and grandchildren have got to pay that money. And so he's telling you how we build infrastructure at what cost. 3/4 of the cost of that road is stolen. And we have got to pay it back. And they're screaming infrastructure. And so we have got to fix healthcare. We normally, each time there's a budget, we introduce our alternative budget. And we show where we think money should go. We know they will not act on it, but it's okay to have it on record. And healthcare is one of those that we think are important. Education. UPE. On an annual basis, they avail about 11,000 shillings per child, capitation grant, UPE, 11,000 shillings per child per year, not per term, per year. That's about $3. Tell me something. How is that child supposed to grow up and compete with the rest of the world? You're educating them at $3 a year. How? That's $1 per term. How? And by the way, this is a reality here. Those who do research, I don't want to take my word for it. How? They're supposed to compete with the child in the US, in China, in UK. How? When I seen in the media, we did a story, we went to this school somewhere in Eastern Uganda, and the children were writing on the ground, in the soil, and the teacher would come and mark them in that soil. And they're securing the future. We must change that. It's not enough for us to fight for the rights of the people of Uganda and all of these different things, fix democracy. The foundation of these young people has got to be dealt with. And so education, it's like saying we must put our money where our mouth is. That's part of our priority. You know, people keep asking, so you guys keep talking about all these grand plans, promise to the soldiers and police officers which shall pay you better. So where's that money going to come from? Every year. Do you know how much money goes to classified budget? For a period of about 3-4 years, classified was about 3 trillion shillings a year. classified. Now, every country has got a classified budget. But it should be justifiable, it should make sense. We are not at war. Where we are at war, like in Congo, there's a separate budget. The Congo war, there's a separate budget for that. In Somalia, it's not even us paying for that. So these regions are classified. What do they do? Your guess is as good as mine. We have a high wage bill. And these are things we must fix. We have nearly 90 ministers, hundreds of RDCs and their deputies, hundreds of presidential advisors, who the president is that who advises them when they get charged to meet. When I was in the media, we did an interview with some of them, and he's the one who told us very blunt, they have spent 4 years without meeting him to advise him, but I earn my monthly salary and allowances. I sit in Parliament. We have a huge and unnecessarily huge Parliament. I'm not afraid to say that. We are 500 plus. On a day when we all show up, people are sitting on each other's laps. And I don't know, if there was a correlation between a high number of MPs and development, it's okay, we can even have a million MPs. But how many MPs do you know? You think about it, you as an individual. How many? Because that goes to show you how much value we are adding as 500 plus MPs. Our government has got to bite the bullet and fix some of these issues. Deliberately, I'm wrapping up. Let me talk a bit about the economy. As a country, we import twice as much as we export. You guys know the Ginger Road all the way to the border? Try and recall that road. Let me show you the economics of our country. So when you see that road, the side of the road that is coming into the country, it dipped in. I'm talking about Ginger Road that goes all the way to the border. One side failing, caved in, the other is still fairly intact. The one that caved in is the one coming into the... You know why? Because these trucks, these lorries come when they are full. So they are heavy on the road. When they are going out, there is very little, if anything, there. You ask your relatives, those who can take pictures for you about that road. It will show you our economics as a country. We decided that we shall focus more on foreign investors. They come, we give them a red carpet, tax waiver, we are giving them free land. Of late, we are guaranteeing them money. What kind of investor are you? If you're coming, I'm giving you free land, tax waivers, and money. You remember the lower hospital? And yet we have our local investors that we must focus on, so that we empower them. That way you'll be able to produce a lot more. 60% of Ugandan businesses don't live up to their first market. Why? Because the government does not care about them. China is a big economic power. Why? Because they realize our small and medium enterprises, those are the ones we must focus on. So they are empowered. That's waivers. And that's why you go to every country in this world, you find Chinese products. How many of your products are in which countries? You Ugandans. You must deal with that. Tourism. Somebody here talked about tourism. A potential foreign exchange earner for our country. Yes. When Jiwanda Subi was still the Minister of State for Tourism, there are tourists that got stuck. They were going to one of the national parks. The roads are terrible. They got stuck for a day and a half. This man, while addressing the nation, he said, you see, as if we were condemning that whole thing, yeah? He said, that's part of the tourism experience. I said, a tourist has got 3 days they've taken to go and be on holiday. 1.5 days has gone in them trying to access the park. Will they come back? Of course not. You can't milk a cow that you don't feed. That's the potential area that we plan to deal with. Let me end with climate change. Something we are passionate about. The Honorable Nachiwe is our Shadow Minister for Environment. We call her the real Mama Mabela because the other Mama Mabela is a fake one. You remember that one? You see, Mabela Forest, when you're moving between that road, you see plenty of it. When you go on the east side there, it's been depleted. Ban for charcoal and so on. I don't know, these guys travel across the world. They know about things like renewable energy and so on, but they travel, go back home, and it's business as usual. That lake Victoria, there's a time we had that some people had plots in the lake. The lake. And somebody says, I have my 50 by 100. This part of the water. Another one has another. The other day, Sudhir was encroaching on the lake, reclaiming part of it for tourism and for development. All of these and many others are areas of concern that we must fix, that our government has got to fix. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to encourage you. It is possible. Yes. There are people who imagine Uganda cannot survive without Museveni. And so they don't get it that young men and women are challenging Mr. Museveni. They don't imagine a Uganda without Museveni. But you see, look at, I've enumerated to you part of the problems caused by this regime and how we must fix them. And so we must fight tooth and nail to unseat this regime. Because all these areas I have talked about, and there are very few, it's just that I've run out of time. I would have talked about many others. They are not going to get better for as long as Museveni is still in power. And now there's also this son of his who imagines Uganda is a kingdom, and so he's swinging, he's spinning around the country saying, I am coming as a new president. It will not change because the real question is how do we keep ourselves in power? All these areas will suffer. There will be no focus on them. Let's fight as hard as we possibly can. And by the way, there's no effort that is too small. Some of my videos, when I put up a post on Facebook, I am in this country and so on, it makes no impact. It does create an impact. You remember the free Bobby Wine protest and so on? That's the power that you have wherever it is that you are. And I tell people back home, I don't even like it that many times they're just there and praising us and so on. Tell them, no, you join us. The first protest I participated in was the OTT protest. We held hands, with our plan and several others, and so as we were moving, there were these fellows coming to take selfies with us. There's one I even kicked. I said, look, you're just coming to take a selfie and then they get out of the way. And I'm like, you join us. He said, I'm going to get them so Chakulani is not going to do it alone. No. It is your responsibility as much as it is his. And so sometimes they get baffled. When people say, and so on. When we invite them and say, okay, now let's go and protest, they don't show up. And then they are blaming each other. When the secretaries and others, all these political prisoners, we had another protest with the members of parliament. And people were on their case and saying, and somehow we imagine that man is going to be our savior. No, he has got a part to play. Each of us, here and outside of this room, has got a part to play. So this business of, you see, you are leaders, you have not done enough, and yes, it's possible. There's areas we are going to fix. But which revolution has happened because of just a leader? No, it takes all of us, everybody, wherever it is that you are. Yes. Let's play our part, ladies and gentlemen. That is the only guarantee that we have. That is the only way we shall land 6 to 7. The only reason he fears Changulani is because, you know, I'm even bigger than this man in terms of size. I think I'm even heavier than him. Small as he is, the reason Museveni fears him is because of the people of Uganda who are saying we want to. And so those people of Uganda have got to wake up and realize that each of them has got a part to play. I thank you for listening to me. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my pleasure to invite the elected but not declared President of the people of Uganda, His Excellency Chakula Kisekka. People power! Our power! People power! Our power! When the struggle is over, we shall wear the victor's crown. We shall wear the victor's crown. We shall wear the victor's crown. When the struggle is over, we shall wear the victor's crown. In a new Uganda. Oh, Lutalo. Oh, Lutalo. Tuliyambale kule. Tuliyambale kule. Tuliyambale kule. Oh, Lutalo. Tuliyambale kule. Tulivimba mu Uganda. Kino tekiseera tetulina okumala mu biseera by'omaaso tufune. Ate kino tekiseera tetulina okumala mu biseera by'omaaso tufune. People power! Our power! People power! Our power! NUP! Everywhere! America! Boston! California! Minnesota! Everywhere! Everyone! Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please take your seats. Thank you very much, Comrade Yoeli. I like to call you in the African way, Yoeli. I sympathize with you, but you're not alone, my brother. I was also named after Robert Mugabe. So that you can imagine what kind of duty our generation has to undo the messes and the mistakes of our forefathers when they had hope in people. Ladies and gentlemen, comrades gathered here today and those watching us from far, dear friends of Uganda, ladies and gentlemen, I salute you and I welcome you to this convention. I want, in a special way, to thank the US chapter under the able leadership of Dr. Kauma and the entire organizing committee for putting this event together. I also want to thank those that have generously contributed and funded this event. You see, the regime in Uganda loves to push a narrative that we're being sponsored by foreigners, we're being sponsored by whites, we're being sponsored by Wazungu. I want to say it again today for clarity, that this convention and indeed all our activities in the diaspora and many times at home are funded by our comrades, our brothers and sisters fellow Ugandans in the diaspora. No wonder Museveni hears you very, very much. Now, friends, every time I see Ugandans in the diaspora coming together, for whatever reason, I am greatly encouraged. I'm encouraged because I know that for many years, we are coming together under the auspices of the UNA fraternity. The UNA initiative used to be a very productive and uniting platform for Ugandans until it was captured by the Museveni regime. Today, the regime in Uganda funds UNA to the tune of 100,000 US dollars. And as a result, yes, every year. And as a result, UNA was compromised into becoming a regime agent and was diverted from its noble mission and objective. How unfortunate. The first time I saw the diaspora coming out massively was when I was arrested and detained by the military in Arua in 2018. When I came out of detention, I saw pictures and videos of Ugandans on the streets of Chicago and Boston, on the streets of DC and Minnesota, in Toronto and New York, in Accra and Nairobi, all over Europe and many other parts of the world. They were all united with one calling and one demand: free Bobby Wine. And indeed, I was free. Friends in the diaspora, here with us today and those watching us, I want you to know that I owe my life to you. I'm alive today and able to fight on still because you put your feet down and you saved my life. But most importantly, the lesson that I got from all this was that the same passion and the same energy that was used to free me can actually be used to free our entire country. And that is why we don't stop counting on you. We don't stop looking at you as a great resource in this our struggle against the Museveni regime of blood. I want to thank all of you in the diaspora community for realizing this just as well as I did. And indeed, for the last 4 to 5 years, you have done wonderful, wonderful work for the struggle both here and back at home. You have protested, you've knocked on doors, you've exposed Museveni's atrocities to the world. You have, most importantly, remained solid, even in the face of intimidation. They intimidate you so much, threatening you that they will arrest you when you come back home. But you have remained solid. We salute you for that, ladies and gentlemen. This, I must remind you, that is one of the things that keep us going. The courage we get from you. While we say we can inspire you, I want you to know, guys, you inspire us a great, great deal. Now, the progress that we have made so far is clear indication that if we continue doing what we're doing, in fact, if we double or even triple our efforts, be sure this guy is going down and going down sooner than we do. So, for avoidance of any doubt, ladies and gentlemen, the main purpose of this, our convention in particular, and indeed the purpose of our struggle, is to weaken, isolate, and finally destroy the Museveni dictatorship. That is our mission, no other mission. But I must also remind you that removing the dictator is not an aim in itself. No, that will only be the beginning of our work. Our duty is remove the dictator, and after that, we must go ahead and build a country that all of us will be proud to return back to. A Uganda that we can call home. We want to build a country with servant leaders, not boss leaders. A country where leaders are servants of the people and the people are the masters of the will. A country where power is in the hands of the people, not in the hands of those that have guns. It is possible. It has been done in many other parts of Africa. it can be done in Uganda, and it will be done in Uganda. We intend to have a country that provides equal opportunities to all citizens, regardless of their tribe, of their religion. We want a country where all of us are going to be equal before and under the law. We want a country, ladies and gentlemen, which will have a reliable and quality healthcare and education system. It is possible. We want a country, ladies and gentlemen, that will provide employment opportunities for our population so that thousands upon thousands of our young people don't have to travel to the Middle East and suffer humiliation and dehumanization. We can create employment opportunities, and we will. We want a country where creativity and innovation pays, where creatives like myself have a future. We want a country that makes sense. We want a country that lives in real time. We want a country that belongs to the 21st century, not the previous century where Museveni has made us stuck. Ladies and gentlemen, we want a new Uganda. Because right now, even if Uganda is a member of the international community, Museveni has used that relationship not to improve the lives of the people of Uganda, no, but to entrench himself in power. He is turning Uganda into North Korea day by day. He has turned Uganda's leadership into family rule. So we are here to ask the United States government to start building a relationship with the people of Uganda, not with the family of Museveni. We are asking that because that is what America has done for so many years. America has to stop it. Now, this explains the theme of our conference today. And indeed, this is going to be our continuous call to the United States government. We want them to change their policy and attitude towards the illegitimate and criminal regime in Uganda. So, ladies and gentlemen, while you clap your hands, while we interact, while we have our drinks later, and while we cruise on the boats, it is important that we keep reminding ourselves and each other about our mission, about why we come together. We're not here for fun. Of course, we want to have fun along the way. We're not going to be mourning because we're in the struggle. No, we're going to be celebrating along the way. But we must always remember why we came together. We must always remember why we are in this struggle. Let us think about the state of affairs back home. Let us think about our brothers and sisters that continue to be under illegal detention simply because of their political choice, which is not a crime. Let us keep them on our mind. Let us think about those who were abducted on gunpoint and they are still missing. The lives of Chibanama John Bosco, Damulira John, Kanata Muhammad, Moses Kawenja, Nalomo Vincent, Hassan Mubiru, and many, many others. We don't know where they are. We don't know even whether they are still alive or dead. But we know who took them away. And we know that one day he will answer for that. Let us remember those who were murdered in cold blood. Comrades like Rita Nabukenya, comrades like Frank Saint-Cesar, Kawuma Yasin, Vincent Serungaya, Mosa Waliendo, Akim Sekanya, and many, many, many others. These ones paid the ultimate price while they were fighting for a better country. I want us to remember the hundreds who were massacred on the 19th and 18th of November 2020. We must always carry their mission forward. They paid the price, and we can only honor them and pay them back by carrying the mission forward and accomplishing it. I also want to remember the leaders and comrades who have left us in the recent past. This year alone, we have lost Councillor Anthony Wameni, who was the head of our legal team, and you all remember he's the one who was standing in the courts of law, including military courts, defending the political prisoners, our comrades that were put in prison. It's unfortunate that we lost him this year. We lost the head of our elderly wing, Musei Yarugaba William, popularly known as Jaja Nup. We lost Comrade Tony Simon Akecha, who was the head of our policy team, and we also lost our comrade called Alex Aringa, who was in our UK chapter. I want to request all of us to stand and observe a moment of silence for these, our comrades. May their souls rest in eternal peace, and may their sacrifice never go in vain, and may their mission be accomplished through us. Thank you very much. Friends, you in America, I want in a special way to thank you for receiving, accommodating, and taking care of our comrades, the Honorable Wameni and Jaja Nup when they were here for treatment, and also for helping in the repatriation of their bodies back home when they passed away. Thank you very much. God bless you. Now, I want us to be reminded that all is not well home, not only in Uganda, but on the entire continent of Africa. It is not well, friends. Because as we speak now, democracy in Africa is under serious attack. In the last few months alone, we have seen more than 6 coups in Western Africa and in the Sahel region. Coups in countries like Mali, in Chad, in Guinea, in Burkina Faso, in Niger, and even in our neighbor, Sudan. I mean, it's like we've gone back to the 70s and 80s. It is sad, isn't it? There has never been a time in Africa when dictators, military dictators and despots, there's never been a time when they are so emboldened, a time when they are so united to do wrong. This time is a turning point, and we must think very, very hard. We have even seen known intellectuals confidently and eloquently, explaining that democracy is not an African thing. The intellectuals that we respected while growing up, we've seen them support autocracy. We have seen tyrants and their propagandists pulling out the Pan-African card to justify grabbing power from the people and resting it in the hands of gunmen. You have seen that. We have seen them parade themselves before international authoritarians to get guns so they can subjugate their people. You have seen them. We have seen young despots taking lessons from aging tyrants like Paul Biya of Cameroon and Yoweri Museveni of Uganda. You have seen them. We have also seen the hypocrisy and the double standards of African leaders and bloc organizations like the African Union and ECOWAS, who have condoned military coups in one country while condemning the same in another country. We have seen them. We have seen them do that, of course, on the strings of their neo-colonial masters, according to the interests that their masters have. We have even seen the East African community and the African Union turning a blind eye on long-serving dictators while they carry out institutional coups and rigging elections with impunity and massacring their own people, only to be congratulated by these so-called African leaders that are now condemning coups. Shame on them.
Shame, 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 shame.
So I want to call out on this platform the hypocrisy of General Museveni, who receives, among others, close to $1 billion. $1 billion from the United States government every year. But again, when he's called out about democracy and human rights, he turns to Russia and China because for them, they don't have democratic conditions and human rights conditions. Shame on you, Museveni. But at the same time, while we call out Museveni, we cannot forget to call out the United States government and other Western governments which are continuing to sponsor Museveni's terrorist regime in Uganda. I say it without fear of contradiction that America gives Museveni to the tune of $1 billion. This is the money that is using to terrorize people. Since I'm in America, I will not say shame, but I know the words are saying that. Yes, because even by their own admission, he was not legitimately elected. Even by their own admission, then the question is, why are they sponsoring him? Why are they dealing with him as if they are dealing with a legitimate president? Don't they see me? So I want to carry the voices of 45 million Ugandans and other Africans to the American government. And I want to tell the American government that we, the African people, we are asking America to support the African people and not, to support the people of Africa and not the gunmen of Africa. Yes. We are members of the international community. And we are united by values of democracy, respect for the rule of law, and human rights. America is the biggest democracy in the world. What does that make America look like when the president of the US is posing shoulder to shoulder with Africa's nastiest tyrant, Joe Biden? What does that mean? I hope that message has reached. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm very glad to inform you that the bubble which General Museveni had built in the international community over the years at the cost of Uganda's taxpayers' money has been busted. Yes, it has been busted, and it has been busted with your help. He has for so long painted a democratic image of Uganda while massacring our people, but not anymore when you are here. Not anymore with the voices that you're raising. That bubble has been busted. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, because you have done it. I'm also glad to inform you, and especially in front of our lawyer, Bruce Afran, that we have taken General Museveni, his brutal son, and their enablers to the International Criminal Court. And indeed, we hope, yes, it is our hope and prayer that the ICC will do what is necessary, fulfill its obligation, and cause them to answer for the pain that they caused to Uganda and Ugandans, and even areas around Uganda, the Great Lakes region, for the last 37 years. Yeah. We hope the ICC does the right thing. But again, even with all these efforts, ladies and gentlemen, and achievements, we must be reminded that the buck stops on us. We, the people of Uganda, it is our country, and therefore we must do the donkey work. The Baganda said, the loved one of the dead person is the one that mourns most and carries the most undesirable duties while burying that loved one. It is our country. Nobody else is going to, do it for us. No one is coming to save us. Somebody has said it, and I want to reiterate it. Nobody is going to come and save us from Museveni. No. And we are not asking them to come and save us. We are only asking them to stop aiding and sponsoring our sponsors. Yes. They should stop sponsoring terrorism in Uganda, state terrorism. When they stop that, the rest like Uganda. So, ladies and gentlemen, we must take charge. We must take the charge in our own hands. We must, handle our own destiny. We must each do not only what we can, but we must do all that we can. Let us work together. Let each one of us push and pull from their end. Some of you are already doing great work in amplifying the voices of Ugandans. We were doing great work demonstrating and protesting in America here and all places where you can protest all over the world. As a person who interacts with people from the Washington administration, I can assure you that they hear your voices. Don't stop. Please don't stop. They can hear you more than yes. For those that are constantly knocking on the doors, those that are lobbying for change in policy regarding Uganda, and those that are calling for sanctions, please don't stop. You have seen that some of Museveni's lieutenants are being sanctioned, but yes, they're being sanctioned, the likes of Kayura and others, Abeka News, they're being sanctioned and their properties are being confiscated. But our target is the devil and the son of the devil. That is where our target is. These others, they are Mbandidwa, they are additives. For those of you that are silently funding us, we appreciate, and please underline the word silently. For those of you who always silently call us with encouragement, words of encouragement, and words of guidance, we appreciate. For those of you who receive our brothers and sisters that run away from Uganda for safety, and you host them, you are heroes. God willing, it is only at the time of our victory that we shall be able to mention your individual names, because right now it is unsafe. But be sure that each contribution, no matter how small that you're doing, is playing a big part. Thank you very much. Please don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Keep going, because we know, and you should also know, that it is those contributions that are adding up together, and you are going to be the reason for the fall of the dictator called Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Finally, I know that you've been seeing the controversies in Uganda's opposition. Many of the senior opposition leaders that we used to look up to, that we used to admire, have been reportedly having silent deals with the regime. You have seen them. You saw how Robert Mao sold DP to Museveni, and now you see what's going on in FDC. You remember that in 2016, Museveni bragged and he said by 2021, there will not be any opposition in Uganda. Now, I realize that probably by then, he had already closed a deal with the opposition that he knew. He did not know that God is going to bring this life. So, by the grace of God, an uncompromising generation was risen. And here we are. Museveni chatuwanja, chatumanyi na kete kumomanyi taika chatugamba. So today, I have bad news for General Museveni. Mzee, if you thought you bought the opposition, you were conned. Bakumuza mpeo. But also, we know that they are They are hobnobbing with the regime. Yes, but comrades, I've always told you to put your trust not in any individual, not even in any particular political party, but in the truth. Put your trust in the truth, and the truth will set you and your nation free. There are even some that are within us who are doing everything possible to slow us down and to divert us. Yes, there are many who come up pretending to fight against Museveni, but when in real sense their target is not Museveni, but to fight those that are fighting against Museveni. But it's always a matter of time before they are exposed. It's always a matter of time before they are naked and you see what they really are. I mean, some of them are actually even in the diaspora. Yes. Some of us are in the diaspora and among you, they are heavily funded to undermine our efforts to weaken the dictator. They pretend to fight against Museveni, but they hate those who fight against Museveni more than they hate Museveni. Some of them actually even pretend to love Bobby Wine, but they want to fight and destroy everybody that I work with. We know that their target is not those around me. We know their target is me, but they need to weaken my support system before they finally come for me. Watch them. Look them in the eye and tell them we see you, we know you, and we will not be fooled. You will see them by their actions. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to call for unity. It is only foolish prisoners that are going to fight in a prison cell. It is only foolish slaves that are going to fight amongst each other on a plantation. I want to call for unity among tribes, among religions, among communities. We are all prisoners, and we need to break free. Museveni has ruled us for 37 years by dividing us, by pitting us against each other. We need to be able to see through this, ladies and gentlemen. We need to be able to think about this. So after this conference, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to have a renewed commitment to agitation and to action and to working together and to putting differences aside and to looking at a Uganda that will make all of us proud. I will be returning to Uganda very soon. And I will be immediately setting off to continue working on the ground as we also push from this side. We shall be moving all over the country, even if the regime thinks us moving freely in our country is a crime. But we shall anyway move around the country. We shall be going to Renzori and Toro. We shall be going to Chigezi. We shall be going from Buganda to Ankole, from Lamu to Acholi, from West Nile to Karamoja, from Bugisu to Teso, from Musonga to Mukeli, all over the country. We shall be recharging and re-energizing our people. We shall be reminding them that it's not over until it's over. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you once again for sparing your time and coming to join us. Let freedom reign. Let liberty lead. Let us see Museveni fall and fall soon. Let us enjoy the new Uganda in our lifetime. Let us also be proud. Let us also one day have this convention in Uganda and celebrate. I want to remind you one day, and I will say, I told you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you. God bless Uganda. God bless Africa. People power! People power! Thank you very much.